There are many steps to manifesting. However, I am going to teach you 5 steps to manifestation that has helped me out and that will help you out. Welcome back to Manifest Your Best Life podcast. I am Franny with the Vanny, the manifestation queen, the van life chef, the jack of all trades, the master of some, but better than none. What's up? What's up? What's up? Happy fucking New Year. So step 1 to manifestation is 1, deciding what you want. I know it sounds so simple, but a lot of us don't know what the heck that we want. Like, we just don't know what we want. We've never really thought about what we wanted, or we think we want something and don't really want it. But the moment you clearly decide what you want and stop questioning if it can happen, you shift from wishing to expecting. So when you decide what you want, you shift your mindset from like, oh, I wish I can have a van one day, to actually wanting it and going after it, expecting it, knowing. It's the power of knowing that you can be on the beach, ass out in the sun, hanging out on vacation. So decide. When you decide what you want, get clear. Also, you have to be specific, not vague, right? So, for example, this is personal. When I decided I wanted to do this whole van life thing, I got crazy. I got super freaking crazy. And all the time, I would just look at vans and I would make the decision. First was the decision that I wanted the van, right? But I would look at vans and I'll be very specific. I would say, I didn't want this van because of this. I didn't want this van because of that. So I wanted a high roof van to make sure that I can stand up in it. I still had enough space. I'm pretty short, so that's not really an issue. However, I knew that I did not want a low ceiling, low roofed van. I didn't want that because I wanted to be comfortable in my van, to be able to stand up, to stretch. I've seen other vans and people like sit and make food, and I don't know, my stomach would get burnt or something like that. I just knew that that's not what I wanted. I was specific. I wanted high roof. I wanted a long van, so that although it's a small space, it doesn't feel like I'm enclosed in the van. I wanted it big enough because I wanted to shower in the van. So I was specific. I wanted it this year. I wanted it this color. I wanted it this, that, and the third. And honestly, everything that I wanted and more, I received. That's the funny thing. Everything that I wanted and more. I honestly wanted a Sprinter van, but I was a little fearful. I didn't think that I can afford a Sprinter van. But in reality, God gave me everything that I wanted plus more. Everything that I needed plus more. You also have to decide what you want from confidence and not fear, y'all. Stop being fearful. And I say this to you guys, and I say this to myself all the time. Like, you have to, it's like you got to walk in the power of God. You know, when you go to church and the church gets, and the preacher gets to like, you know, and he's like, walk with the strength, the blood of Jesus of God. It's true. Like, you have to walk with that confidence, with that power. You know, it's not arrogance. It's not the ego. It's the I know that God's behind me, Jesus is behind me, Buddha's behind me, whoever you guys believe in is behind me, and I am walking with confidence. I'm deciding what I want, and I have that confidence to know that I'm going to get that. Like, I can just, you know, sit up, have your head up, and just kind of like, you know, walk in that damn confidence. Y'all, Stop walking around thinking that y'all don't deserve what the hell y'all deserve. Stop being fearful. It's not just, it's like, oh, I want a van. I hope I can get a van. Or I hope I can find my dream man. It's like, it's knowing, it's that confidence that is like, I'm going to find my dream man. And he gonna look like this, that, and the third, and God is always gonna deliver what you need, not what you want. But you have to ask. You have to decide. God's not gonna give you what you want if you don't decide on what you want. God will deliver. You just have to know what you want. You have to decide. You have to make that decision and say, you know what? This is what I want. This is when I want it by. Also, with being specific, going back to being specific, like set a date. You might not always get it exactly the date that you thought you were going to get it, but at least always work towards something. At least know you have a specific date, a specific time frame, or whatever the case is, and work towards it within that time frame. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to get it within that time frame. And if you don't get it within that time frame, you just weren't ready for it. And that's okay. But at the end of the day, you have to be specific with the time frame, with the color, with the look. Don't be like crazy about it. If God sends you a good man that looks like this and looks like that, and he's just missing one thing, you're like, oh, I don't want him, God, because, that wasn't everything on my list. Okay, relax. However, be specific on what you want. You want a good man. You want a man that's a provider and a protector. You say, God, I want the best man that you have for me, that could provide for me, that can protect for me, so on and so forth. I want a good plate of food. I want some onions in the food. I want this in the food. I want that in the food. Decide what you want. If we're talking about food, it's like, decide what food you want to eat. It could be that simple. Just make the decision. I don't know what it's saying in the Bible, y'all. I haven't been to church in a really long time. But the worst place that you can be is be lukewarm. It's like, have you ever had a decision to make and you just like didn't make the decision? You just stood in the spot and you're just like, But the worst place to be is on the fence. You just got to make the decision. And honestly, sometimes we're afraid to make decisions because we think that, oh my God, like it's going to be a bad decision. It's going to be any decision is better than no decision. Any decision is better than a lukewarm decision. I'm only talking about for the better. I ain't telling you guys to make the decision, go do all types of stuff, become alcoholics, so on and so forth. We're not talking about that. We're talking about everything high vibrational. Okay. And one thing that has worked for me 1000% is writing down the decision that I have made, that I am making, that I am manifesting. Journal it, write it down. Okay? Write it down. I created my manifestation 90-day goal planner to always write down what I want. Because sometimes you can get lost in the sauce. Like sometimes you said you wanted this and then like, a situation happened, life was lifing and life punched you in the face and you kind of forgot and you kind of lost track of what you really wanted, So it's good to write things down, to make it clear, to help you become clear, to kind of hone in on what you really want. That's what's good about a planner, a stationary, a hard copy planner in comparison to an e-planner or an ebook, because you can actually write it down. You can slow down, you can journal, you can plan out your life. You could plan out what you want for the next 3 months, for the next week, and you can stay consistent. You can consistently write it down and read it. And when you're consistently writing it down and reading it, you're bringing it back to your mind. You're bringing it back to your mind. You're bringing it back to your mind. You're bringing it back to your mind, which it's like, It's building that desire of what you want. And it just helps you decide. It helps you be more specific. You know, you get to writing down what you want and you're like, I want a car. And it's like, okay, write down what type of car you want. You know, once again, with the van, I was writing down what type, and it helped me get clearer, and it helped me realize that sometimes I didn't even really know what I wanted. I had to go do the research to figure out what I really wanted, the specifics of it. So write it down, journal it, decide, be specific, not vague. Write it down with confidence, walk with confidence, believe in yourself. That is the first step of manifestation. It's deciding what you want. Decide on what you want. Now, the affirmation for this episode is I am worthy of everything I desire. Because sometimes we think we ain't good enough, and we are fucking good enough. You heard? We are good enough. And if you don't think that you're good enough, work on becoming the best you, and you will be good enough. I am worthy of everything I desire. Until next time, thank you for watching.